just a quick message to Eritreans.
Yeah, please.
Thinking that, we Africans are all one. And like, if there's a little bit of like disgrace or not, like, I just want like all Africans to think like we're all one community because we're one continent.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And
yeah.
What do you think that will need to happen to change that in the black world to get us to
be more
interactive?
But like, I feel like when you say like the black world, like when Americans come here, very few of them, like they're easygoing, like they can get along with people. Like when you say the Somalians and the Eritreans and Ethiopians, it's just like culture.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. This is the Repat podcast. My name is Jonita. I am joined by O'Shea and a very interesting individual who was born in Saudi Arabia, moved to Uganda, and now is moving to Canada.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Please tell us about that.
I mean, I've been born and raised in Saudi Arabia. Lived there for almost 25 years. And life was good. My family I had my mom, my dad, and things were going well. Around 2017, things started to change. New rules applying to foreigners.
Like what?
So like less job opportunities. They started giving favor to the people, Saudi people.
Was it when the king died?
No, it's just a prince. Yeah, but then another prince came and he took over.
Yeah, Prince. What's his name? MBS.
Yeah, MBS.
Man, I heard he's not to be like f***ed with at all.
Yeah. So that's when things took a quick turn. And basically we had the IDs that we had to renew every like few months. And these things started being more expensive. So if you had more people in the house, you would have to pay for everybody.
Yeah.
And then like around 2017, it just got really hard, and that's when a lot of Eritreans started going back to their country.
So you are Eritrean.
Yeah, originally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Eritrean.
Yeah.
Was there a Eritrean community in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, like we had basically in different cities, but the city where we're living in was like pretty small, not that much, so everybody knew each other.
What city were you in?
I was in Dammam.
Okay, is like the biggest one like Riyadh?
Riyadh, capital city, yeah. Riyadh and Jeddah are pretty huge. So
okay.
It was just like 4 hours drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about that because I ended up meeting you. I won't say where, but we're at a gaming place.
Yeah.
Met you there.
Yeah.
And it happened to be a lot of Eritreans and Ethiopians live in that area. I've always thought, and I think that we talk about Pan-Africanism in the black world, we always know that, okay, yeah, Eritreans, Ethiopians, Somalians, Djibouti, they are there, but they are there like by themselves. Like they don't really deal with the rest of, and I found it different with you because you were like, hey bro, what's going on, man? Like, I was like,
I remember that day very well. It was just like very sudden. And you're right about that. Because even me being here in Uganda, I feel like, a lot of Eritreans see me different because we interact with most people.
See you different how? What do you mean?
Like as in, first of all, by my accent is not as
Ugandan.
as Eritrean.
Yeah.
Eritrean, yes.
Yeah, because I came from Saudi, so
yes,
they catch me off that. And then when they see me like moving with Ugandan people, it's a bit confusing to them because they usually like to move with their own culture. Yeah. So, but
it's a bit confusing when they see you like interact with the locals and whatnot.
Exactly.
Do they say something? It's just the looks that you get. Like,
looks, maybe.
Who's this outcast?
Looks.
The looks?
Yeah, the looks, you can tell. And my brother even witnessed that yesterday because he was walking with another Ugandan and they like look at you like a little different. Like, why is he not moving with our people? It's that kind of thing.
So let's talk about that because that's kind of how people feel. Eritreans, Ethiopians. Yeah. They're like, even if they are in somebody else's country, they're kind of like to themselves.
That's true.
Okay. So where does that come from? That culture?
I think maybe because most of them grew up in the country, in Eritrea, in Ethiopia. And then when they leave, when they go to like Uganda or Kenya or whatever, they don't like to approach other people. So they just like stick to their own community, own people. And they're probably, I wouldn't say afraid, but they just don't know how to approach the other nations. But unlike us, we We just interact with anybody. And it's hard to convince all Ugandans here that you're different. Like you like to talk to them. You want to get to know them because they all see us as
The same.
the same.
Yeah.
So it's shocking to them when I approach them and I talk to them and I learn a bit of Uganda.
Yeah.
So
When they know that you're Eritrean, what is the Ugandans' perspective about you?
I was just talking about this a few days ago with my friends, and first of all, most Ugandans here somehow they told me that they asked me questions like in my neighborhood, like when they see me walking around, they'd be asking me questions like, "So like, how much do you make in Uganda?" Personally,
Really?
me speaking, like I've been here since 2018, but I did go back. So 2022 is when I actually stayed here. But since 2022, you do get questions like they actually think you, like the government supports.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hard for me to convince everybody that they do, but they don't.
Oh, okay. So you went back to Saudi by yourself.
Yeah, because I had to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my travel documents and I went back 2019. So since 2019, Corona, I was there. It was tough. I was there in the Corona times, and I got back here 2022. I settled because my family's like, we might be moving to Canada soon. So it's best if you settle here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask, how did your family get to Saudi Arabia in the first place?
All right. So my dad, when the war started back in the Eritrea-Ethiopian War, it was around 1989 or 89, 1990. My dad like fled away from the country through Sudan, stayed in Sudan for a few years, and then he ended up being in Saudi Arabia. And this was when we weren't even planned. It was just like, my dad told me this recently. I didn't even know about this.
Where was your mom at?
My mom was still in Eritrea. He stayed in Saudi, like worked, made his way, and then, you know how arrangement weddings go. He came back to Eritrea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't know her before?
Nah, he didn't know her. He came back to Eritrea and then he met my mom, like family thing, and then my mom came to Saudi with him.
Just like that.
So now we're gonna find a way to get you married. You ain't even gonna know the dude. Let's kind of go back over that because your dad was he like in the military?
No.
Okay, he was a regular citizen.
Yeah, but at that time, since like the war happened, I think it was like mandatory for anybody to.
So he was like, "Fuck that! I'm getting the hell up out of here."
Yeah.
So he went to Sudan.
Sudan, stayed there for like probably a year or two, and then there was a way to get to Saudi Arabia, and then he found a way and got to Saudi Arabia, and he just stayed up there and ended up having like all 6 of us.
Okay, he gets to Saudi Arabia. He's working, and he's like, "I want to get married now."
He worked as a translator because he speaks Italian.
Oh, that makes sense because
Yeah.
Italian.
So he grew up in a Catholic church in Eritrea. So he speaks Italian. He started like working in the embassy, Italian embassy, translating. Got opportunities and then ends up working as a salesman. And he wanted to get married. He got married around 32, 33.
Okay.
And he flew back to Eritrea, got married, and got moms all the way to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you were. You were born. Okay.
Yeah.
No, a few things stand out to me. How did that arrangement part? I want to know your mom's perspective. Does she ever talk about it? Was she scared or did she just go along with it?
Yeah, she was because she was pretty young. She was
How
like,
old was she? Sorry.
Probably 17.
Oh.
16. Yeah, that's how it was back in the
Back
days.
in the days,
Yeah, now it's a bit
it.
different.
Yeah.
Like even nowadays, like even the Eritrean culture is changing, adapting a little bit.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just like, I mean, she had a decision, but like it was for her best as well because her parents wanted her to like get the chance to move out of the country as well.
Yeah.
But luckily, you know, they've been together for like 40, almost 30, 35, 40 years, 36 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Arranged marriages do work.
I don't know about
You
that.
want to try it?
I don't know about that.
So there's that. Well, thank you for telling us that. The other thing is about how Eritreans, like to keep to themselves. Do you think it's something that's told to them? Because I don't think they come here saying, oh, we're going to just stick to ourselves and, form groups, by ourselves and something like that. Do you think they tell them, what, Ugandans are maybe not nice people, maybe Ugandans are scammers? Is that something like that passing around?
Personally, me coming like from Saudi Arabia, I might have a different perspective because when I was in Saudi, I used to interact with
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like I was in a school where I had all nationalities around, so I got to learn about Jordanians, Egyptians, especially the Arab culture. So that's why when I came to Uganda, it was normal for me to connect with South Sudanese or Ugandans or Ethiopians. It was cool to me. But as Eritreans, probably like they just feel safer when they're together as a group, because you know things happen in Uganda sometimes.
Yeah.
So they like to keep a safe community.
What things happen?
Yeah.
We go like I don't want to get into details, but like sometimes when we're in churches, like they be sending out like warnings, like try not to stay out late on your own, because a bunch of Eritreans like actually die in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
They do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Under
so,
what circumstances?
I never.
It's just robbery. I mean, but like it's if you move around 2 a.m., 1 a.m. on your own, maybe two guys just coming out from a club or whatever. Usually the neighborhoods will be deep inside, and like things happen. So they usually send us warnings, like just try not to move on your own at nighttime.
The Ugandans send you warnings?
No, like the Eritrean community.
Okay.
In churches and stuff.
Does this thing happen to men or women, or is it both?
Usually men. It's worse because like they get beaten up and then end up being in the hospital, and then sometimes some of them don't make it. But the ladies just usually just like snatching the purses.
Oh.
I feel like they feel more.
So there's theft in that area.
Yeah, in our area, yeah. We've known. I know people that got robbed. I know people that.
Well, that area is also known for other things that I don't want to mention right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But,
that.
No, that's it. But so maybe
Is it the party district? Is it what?
Kampala Uganda. Yeah.
Kampala Uganda. So yeah.
Is it like prostitution?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But how has it been, living in Uganda? Like when you came back from Saudi, you're living, from what I've understood, you're living a high life. And then when you got here, life wasn't the same.
It was different, very different. Because at some point in Saudi, when you work and you have your car, you're settled, you feel like, things are going well.
Yeah.
And then like things take a turn and you got to make a decision. You come to Africa, Uganda, and it's the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried to see pictures of what it looks like before coming because we were panicking. And once we got there, it was different because we came here around 2018 and there was not a bunch of Eritreans around. It was like very few of them.
Yeah.
So, and we were like living in the side of Bakuli. It was pretty quiet, just Ugandan. So when you go out, like a lot of people stare at you, like where'd you come from and all these things. So we had to like keep our distance.
Did you feel scared?
Yeah, at some point, yeah, because me and my big brother once spent the night like at the bar watching a football game. And we're coming back home and we were like, nothing happened. They just like told us, give us what you got. And this was like my first week in Uganda.
Oh, so you got robbed?
Not really. We just had like a bunch of 5K or whatever. And we just gave them and then we walked away.
Yeah, you were robbed.
They weren't. I was robbed?
Yeah.
Oh.
So what did they say?
Just told us like, give us what you got. And we just had like a bunch of change and it could have gone worse.
Right.
Because they were way more than us.
Right.
Yeah. So that was my first experience in like a week in Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm not gonna lie. I'm leaving in a week and I keep telling my friends I have a weird feeling in my stomach because I've been here for 2 years and suddenly I feel like I met some cool people here.
You like it now?
I do like. I just wish I had like. I feel like I had to have better opportunities when I like leave this country.
Okay, so let's talk about that because so many Africans, not even just you're Eritreans, but even Ugandans themselves. If you go to the airport at Entebbe Airport, you will see a bunch of Ugandans going to Saudi Arabia. That's the #1 employer of Ugandans. Then the Dubai, UAE, places like that. And it's a tough loss for the continent because the people that are talented and people like you that bring a certain energy to things, that's gonna be in Canada now. What are the opportunities that you wish that you felt like were here
in Uganda?
Yes.
Well, so basically, I was working in Saudi Arabia as a coach.
Yes.
I worked in Saudi Aramco as a coach. So I was like doing like private soccer sessions and like coaching a whole team. And part-time at night times, I would be working like in a restaurant as a host. You have opportunities, that kind of opportunities, like working 2-3 jobs. And when I moved to Uganda, I did get called up by a school. And my brother was already working there as a PE teacher. So I just decided to join him. But, the pay is way more less and the hours are longer. And, you know, the Uganda sun is pretty strong. You'd be out in the heat. Yeah, those are like the little things. But I have a bunch of friends that work in places, and like they tell me they work 12 hours. Usually the clubs in Kololo and these places, and the pay is just not, you know, covering it, because you be spending there 12 hours, and the ride back is not even safe for you.
Right.
You leave around 3 a.m. and you leave all the way in Kampala Uganda. You're gonna get in a border, even if you're in a safe border, there's just gonna be other borders tracking you or following you all the way. So yeah, I tried to work like in those places, but my family was just like, it's not worth it.
Okay.
It's risky.
Yeah, it's very unsafe. I'm sorry to take you back. You said you felt unsafe, and I know it's because of the theft and whatnot, but did you feel, could it have been like, did you feel unsafe because like these were other black people or something like that? Or you just felt unsafe because like you knew they were thieves and not just because they're black people?
No. Like before I get into that, like I really consider us all like Africans to be one. It's hard to convince everybody. That
Right.
you think that way, because nobody's gonna believe you, and you can't convince everybody.
Yeah.
So just being new, it was my first time moving away from a country that I was born in,
Yeah.
and moving to Uganda. I felt like I was a guest and I was new. So just trying. But then as times, like as we moved to the side of Kampala Uganda, and we saw like people had it. There was a lot of our people
Yeah.
living normally, and we kind of got comfortable later on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about something and she was really shocked about it, that Eritreans or Ethiopians kind of intermarry and marry Ugandans, which is, for some people, maybe it's unheard of.
Very.
But to a Ugandan, to me, it's I've seen it.
Yeah.
So it's not new to me. But tell us about that.
Like personally, me, I don't know any, but I hear.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the ones that have been in Uganda or been in Africa, like in Kenya or whatever, for many years. So they adapt like much more better. But like the ones that come from Ethiopia or Eritrea and stuff,
Yeah.
it would be they can date for like few, but like marriage is just like when you get your parents involved. Parents usually want you to marry from your same
Yeah.
roots, and they don't want you to, you know, interact different. It's pretty different because the weddings are different and things are different. So culture wise, food wise,
Yeah.
Right.
they just want it to be something that's similar.
Well, let me ask you this then. I know Eritrea was a part of Ethiopia. So how do Eritreans feel like, and I know there's still some, you know,
Beef.
yeah, I thought they had got everything straightened out again now here in Ethiopia may attack Eritrea soon. I'm not sure if I heard that right. It could be a rumor.
Yeah, it's like I think it was a few months ago, like probably a few months ago, where there was like something started. And to mention my uncle, who's been in the Navy for like a long time. He's one of the ones that didn't make it out, because once you get in there, it's very hard for you to leave, which is why many Eritreans try to flee the country and in a very unsafe way. So it's just like the country, like many Eritreans are leaving the country, they're running away. So population is just going lower, because you see a lot of them in Uganda, Kenya, just trying to figure out the way out of the country. So like, but it's like the country wants to be ready for whatever. So they keep the guys like together for any kind of war or whatever. Yeah, my uncle's there. He's been there for a long time.
They need to be prepared. Like they're preparing them for something.
Whatever.
big.
Yeah, because the population just keeps decreasing nowadays.
Yeah.
So do you think that how are relationships between Ethiopians and Uganda too?
Yeah.
Are they more than Eritreans?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Eritreans are more.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you come across Ethiopians in Uganda, how do they feel about you, or vice versa?
I don't think like you would see an Eritrean, like very few Eritreans, Ethiopians that roll together. Like I've been in Uganda for 2 years, and I don't think I have had a conversation with an Ethiopian.
But you're more likely to have a conversation with a Ugandan
Yeah.
than an Ethiopian.
Yeah, but like some of them just look the same, and you wouldn't even know. Like if he's Ethiopian or Eritrean,
Right.
I wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't know by his features if he's Ethiopian or Eritrean, because they all look the same. So
Same. Because they are the same.
Exactly. It's just the country divided. So I never had the chance. I played once, and I played with a bunch of Ethiopians, and I didn't even know until the guys told me they were Ethiopians. So, but I don't have like any close friends that are Ethiopians.
Do you believe it's because of that tension?
Yeah, there's still that tension, even like when
Even in Uganda, there's a tension.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about these, because in America, let me just say this, because I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but when you look at the Indians in Uganda or Kenya, Ugandans feel a certain way about certain partition of it, the Indians over a long period of history.
Yeah.
I think Kenyans also that's there. But
Yeah.
Eritreans are also a part of the business class community now. They operate many nice restaurants.
They are.
And they're also kind of like on the come up.
They are.
Some people may not be so happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt, because you said that people ask you, how much do you make?
Yeah.
Is that because of Eritreans' business success?
Yeah.
And is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't know like Eritreans were owning a lot of restaurants and lounges in Uganda. I didn't know. Like I just came here and I thought like everybody just, but some of them have their ways. Like for us, I'm not gonna lie, like if it wasn't for the support of my family who was living abroad, like that's how we actually pay rent in Uganda. I got my aunties, my uncles that I always thank. They've been supporting us for a long time since we got to Uganda, because they were the ones that were like, if Saudi is being tough for you and you can't stay in Eritrea because of the reasons of military and all these things and not having chances or trying to build your future, you could, like, once you settle in Uganda, like we're gonna keep you covered until you can make it to Canada. But for other people, it's different. I think like they probably have like financial support from whoever, and they like build those fancy places or like cafes and restaurants. I still to this day don't know how, and I really don't want to get into it because I'm not planning on staying.
Right.
So but I do see it.
Let me ask you this, because there are some Eritreans that are doing well, like myself.
Yeah.
I'm Black American, African American from the United States.
Yeah.
Now there are some Eritreans that are doing very well that are coming from like Canada, Britain, and the States, and they're living here.
Yeah.
So is there also a divide between those Eritreans that grew up in the West versus those that came from Eritrea?
Yeah, they're different in many ways because, like when you've been living abroad for a long time, even if you're Eritrean, you're born in America, whatever, coming to Uganda and meeting the Eritreans that came from Eritreans, it would be hard to communicate with them because you got your accent, and even when you speak Tigrinya, our language, it's going to be a little broken and they would know you came from outside. Yeah. But like they do come here for business reasons because they feel like they got better opportunity. Like they come because the money you make in America and England or whatever, you can bring it all the way here and start a business for you. It's just like the Eritreans here. When you work here, you cannot make that much money to open up a business.
Yeah. So you think the money must be coming in from somewhere else?
Yeah. That's too.
Yeah, but one thing I've also seen about Eritreans is that you guys do business as a collective. So like even if it's one restaurant, it's like
3 owners.
20. 2010.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like it's that many people owning one place.
Yeah,
20 people.
That's the rest I know. That's like so many owners.
Yeah.
Like it's collective, like crowdfunding. They get the money together and then build this something, and then they can buy some people out or something like that. But that's
it doesn't always go the right way though. People end up because everybody wants to get money in the end. So some people want more and they just
exactly. So they end up buying out some people or selling something.
Yeah.
That's how they do it to me. But I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So okay, you didn't study from here. I wish maybe someone in the background can tell us. But for the Eritreans who studied from here, like the university and whatnot, would you say they have the same opportunities like a normal Ugandan? Because if they were born and raised here and then went to the same schools and the same universities as a normal Ugandan, do you think they have the same opportunities as a Ugandan?
I do think they would have, but I just feel like they like no Eritrean that came from Eritrea or Ethiopia like comes to Uganda and wants to live here forever. Ooh. That's what I feel like because they come here like they study and like if they got the time they study, and once they're done, like they probably like will try to get to America, whatever, through family, because you gotta have family wherever. And Eritreans are they always have family abroad, like in America. So you got the support from there, and they will try to like get you to the country. That's the goal. Because I don't think it's very few Eritreans that actually want to live in Uganda. The ones that have their businesses, like you said.
We are hurt by that.
But things can take a turn. You never know.
Your brother's in Canada. I had a very unique discussion with him the first time that I met you guys, and I told him, whatever you do. What I tell him?
Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Stay away from white.
Bleep that part.
And he's in the background.
Yeah, I told him to stay away from those white women. And
he failed, by the way.
Huh?
He failed with that.
Yeah.
First month.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
All right.
I was disappointed.
Mess around and get his OJ Simpson on. So let me ask you this thing though. Like, you feel like you face some level of discrimination, at least living in Uganda, being a foreigner. Rwandese have experienced that here. A lot of people have experienced that. Even me. You're not Ugandan is normal. What has your family, who's now in Montreal, what do they feel as far as being discriminated against, being in the new system
Here in Uganda?
No,
in Canada?
In Canada.
I mean, they've only been there for 3 months, but they just it's good that they got my aunties and my uncles, like showing them around. I think it would be hard.
Your aunties and uncles are already in Montreal.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure it would have been way harder if they got there and they had nobody.
Like it was when you got into Uganda.
Yeah. But there, it's like they completely show them around the country. They've been there for like 10, 15 years. So like they showed them around the country and it's like much easier for them. And they only been there for 3 months and you just noticed like they started taking French classes because my younger brother came in and he wanted to he was just like fresh out the boat. So he wanted to work. But every job applied like a few French. You got to know how to speak the basics. So they do have classes for free and you get paid to attend those classes in Montreal. Yeah. So they started doing that like just a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something we probably will do when we go there.
How do they like it?
They like it as in I mean, my dad's just happy to be away from the Uganda jam. You can just like, you can just like cruise around.
Yeah.
And it's moving around at night, whatever. But they're just waiting for us because my dad looks young, but he's pretty old. So I don't want him to work. I just want him to settle once we get there and we probably do the job.
Oh, that's amazing. And what does the Eritrean community think about like when one of you dates a white person? No offense.
Oh, that's a good question.
A white person.
Okay,
I mean,
someone of the other race.
Yeah.
A white person. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. It's pretty. I think it's common in America. Like I've seen it before.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like it all goes the way it seems because at some point the culture part comes in. Like when you have a wedding, usually the Eritrean parents want a wedding back in Eritrea as well. So you gotta have a wedding in America and then you get married in Eritrea again, and whoever the man or the woman has to come to Eritrea, and it's cool. But I feel like there's just a lot of differences in between. But if you're born in America and you're Eritrean, I think it's much easier. Yeah, it's just the culture difference.
No, that aside, is it frowned upon by the community?
Yeah, it's not something that's very.
They won't be like as welcoming. They won't be very welcoming.
Oh yeah, like they always prefer to like marry someone from your own culture. Yeah, always. That's like first. But at a certain point, like you come to a conclusion where you're grown and you fell in love with someone and that doesn't matter to you anymore. So at some point you got to go against your parents. For marriage.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me ask you. You made a unique point that you see us as blacks as the same, which is when I was talking to your brother that day, I wasn't talking to him like he's Eritrean. I was talking to him like he's an African American dude. Like, all right, nigga, you gonna find out. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that because so many people think that it's not people like you. You even came to our Uganda experience. You were supporting us, and some people think like Africans are not, they're not open to seeing other blacks as the same. It's not, in my opinion, I don't feel that. I feel that there are a lot of people, I haven't met a lot of Eritreans like you, but I haven't met many in general. But I see so many brothers and sisters that are just open to just trying to operate as one group, and trying to, get beside the tribalism and things like that. But how do you feel like, a young person with the zeal, with talent that you have, and you're leaving Africa with that talent, instead of staying in Africa with that talent?
Yeah. I get your point. Like when we came to the Uganda experience, which was very awesome. Me and my partner, we were there, and we were just like, I told him like we are the only Eritreans here, and that was true. It was true, right? So I feel like we always try to fit in. Like me personally, like I try to fit in with the culture and like who's around me or whatever. If I get invited, I'll come through. But I really do feel like some Eritreans, which is why we're not like always together. Me and my brother, when we were there, we were like, this is a nice experience, but it would have been like we would want to see a bunch of Eritreans too. Like, why aren't they not like interacting with those things? Like they're on social media, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram.
Yeah,
but it's just like they would rather like stick to their own
Right.
like weddings and cultures and whatever.
Right.
That's what I think.
And that's also true with the Somalians. They have a huge
Yeah.
TikTok community.
Yeah.
It's like they're in their own world.
Yeah, one of the brothers. I don't want to mention his name, but we have a Somalian Australian.
Mm-hmm.
He prefers to be. In fact, he brought me those expensive cigars there.
Oh.
You met him?
Yeah, did he?
Yeah, he was real cool, but he grew up in Australia. I met him actually in Nairobi, so he came to Yay. And the people that I feel like when it comes to the Eritrean community that you will see, that either the people that have grown up abroad or Australia, but it's never somebody like, oh, you grew up there
In Eritrea.
yeah, unless they're really forced to. Like when I was living in Poland, I was dating a girl that was from Ethiopia,
Yeah.
Addis.
Yeah.
But because Poland, you have to like
Yeah. You have no
deal
choice.
with all the blacks are so small. You just
have to interact.
yes, you have to interact.
You'd be happy to see your like same color.
Yes,
Yeah,
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 exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think that will need to happen to change that in the black world to get us to
Be more
interactive?
Yeah.
But like I feel like when you say like the black world, like when Americans come here, very few of them, like they're easygoing, like they can get along with people.
Mhm.
Like when you say the Somalians and the Eritreans and Ethiopians, it's just like culture. They just rather stick to their own community. They probably fear, like we had this orientation. It's something that you do before going to Canada and they teach you about the country. We were there and this guy was asking questions, the teacher. And it was just me and my brother answering the questions. Because none of them wanted to interact.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be done and
Go.
leave the country. So those are the small things I noticed. But I wouldn't say like I try to speak to Eritreans, and I feel like we just have a different mindset when we talk sometimes. Like they think differently, I think differently. And those are the things that just because they were born there.
Right.
Some of them came from the village.
Okay.
So it would be harder for them to come to Uganda and just like interact with everybody
But
else.
it still doesn't mean that they're still good people. They're just into their own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But and then Ugandans can get a different perspective. Like, they're just like, they don't want to be with us because we're darker than them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what they think.
because like, they do consider, some of them do consider us different because, if you're a bit lighter.
Yeah.
I was having a Rolex the other day and the guy came up to me. He was like, why are you eating Rolex? Like, this is not the kind of food you should be eating. I'm like, I've been here for long. I enjoy this food. And he was like, he was lighter than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Ugandan though.
Okay.
And then he was like, yeah, you're different. You're white. I'm like, no, you're whiter than me. Like, you check my arms, and he was lighter than me.
Yeah.
I was just like, we're all the same.
Okay.
I gave him a lecture, even though he was drunk.
Yeah.
Again, I just we're all the same.
gave him a
We're
lecture.
Africans, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think you'll ever come back to the continent? Like, if you ever do well in
Uganda. Yeah.
Would you ever come back and live here?
Yeah.
You would.
I do think about that. Like, if things go well in Canada and I settle down and I make a whole lot of money, I would like. If Uganda's still the same though, like if it's still accepting all these people coming from outside, I would come back probably. Because there's good money being made here.
You think so?
I feel like all these Eritreans that are here are like the ones that have something here are comfortable here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are
do.
comfortable.
They are comfortable. Yeah.
Shout out to Caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, it's owned by
Yeah, it's owned by Eritreans. Yeah.
They opened one new restaurant on Kasanga recently.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's the one they had it's on the way to the airport.
And
Yeah.
Terry,
Yeah.
Entebbe.
Yeah.
opening up branches everywhere. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. So it's a bit of a personal question. Your girlfriend who's here with us today. So how is it gonna work? Is she gonna come?
I've known her for a few, like 6 months, but we just used to work out in the same gym.
Oh,
okay,
Yeah.
Miss Girl.
And like a few months before leaving, we got really close.
Oh.
So actually, the moment we got close is when I got my tickets.
Oh, she come with a blessing.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
That's what I keep saying. But
Amazing.
yeah, I'm leaving some really, really important people here
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure like we'll meet in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Share anything else?
Does she want to come?
I hope so.
Ah! No, that's it, man. Thanks so much. And
Yeah.
Appreciate it,
we
man.
were supposed to do this a long time ago, but
Yeah.
I appreciate
I
it.
blame
man.
Jonita.
Yeah, if they want to support you, what can they do? Our viewers.
Who?
People watching, how can they support you if they want to support you?
Oh, just a quick message to Eritreans
Yeah, please.
thinking that, we Africans are all one. And like, if there's a little bit of like disgrace or not, like, I just want like all Africans to think like we're all one community because we're one
Yeah.
continent.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And
Yeah. And just to clarify, where is your accent from?
Oh, like back in Saudi, where I used to work with a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
And even my school days, like, although I met a lot of people from the Arab culture, I just grew up watching a lot of TV, listening to hip hop. That probably like got my accent better. Because everywhere I go, people assume like I got a little bit of American in me.
Yeah.
But
let me just ask you, did the ladies in Uganda, did they like you a lot?
Because of your accent?
Yeah.
So I intend to change my accent when I'm talking to, like, I don't keep my accent the way it is always. Just so I don't want people to think I'm like completely different or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do
take us to your local accent.
My local accent?
Yeah.
No, like I do speak this way, but like I just try to communicate better when I'm like talking to a border driver. I'm not gonna approach him with my American accent. Because he's probably gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna make some money out of this guy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I do by mistake, they just be like, a short trip will be like 5K. I'm like, I'm just going down the shop. So
yeah,
but my accent is just pretty.
But did the ladies like take a liking to you when you got here?
Because of the accent?
I'm not gonna lie, like ever since I've been to Uganda, I probably like went to the club like 3 times every New Year's. We don't party that much, but whenever I did, it was like like I dated like a Ugandan girl before.
Okay.
But she ended up wanting my kids, so
She ended up what?
Wanting kids.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean I wasn't ready for that.
Player.
Okay, thank you so much. What are your social media handles?
By the way, about that, can I just the King Kanda experience?
Yes, please.
Went there and I had my old Instagram hacked like a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when I was that 2 minutes interaction,
The speed networking session.
Yeah. The 2 minute interaction we had, I ended up giving them my old account.
Oh.
Because everybody was just like writing down paper and pen. I don't think everybody had internet then. So we were just like, and everybody started thinking I kind of like bailed on them or whatever. But yeah, my Instagram account is Teme Kiros. So it's like TEME _KIROS.
You will put it up there.
So please follow him.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Oh, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming by. O'Shea, anything?
No, man. Stay away from them white ladies out there. Your girlfriend in the back, so I'm gonna tell her.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment in the comment section. Follow us at all our social media pages at Kingana Nation. We'll see you guys next time.